Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode from the Alphacraft server. Last episode we built this starter campsite area inside of the starter jungle. Today I am still in copper. I would like to upgrade a little bit, but that requires me to have a smithy. Now having a smithy would be great, but I kind of need wood to build a smithy. So first we're going to build a lumber yard and then we're going to build a smithy in today's episode after dealing with some intruders, it looks like. Yeah, I don't think these guys are exactly looking like they're very friendly. I think one of them was oh, well, so much for that. I got all my stuff back. However, it looks like they despawned when they killed me. At least they're gone, I guess. They ran away after they killed me. And here is the future home of my base. To start things out, I need a wood sawmill right over here. And there's a perfect stream, like right here for a water wheel that I can connect up to a wood processing. So like a sawmill coming from the water. And okay, this is like right here. Now leaving, now entering, now leaving, even though this is going to be where my sawmill is going to be. That's going to be, I can have fun right now. That'll work. So yes, there'll be a water mill right here. So let's get that in. And then after that, we'll put in the sawmill because there's a lot of trees right here. And I think this would be a perfect place to have our sawmill located. And here behind me is the water wheel. So the way I designed the water wheel is to follow a similar principle to what happens if one takes some stairs and does not place them like so, but rather places them in an orientation like this. So you can kind of see at the bottom here, well, it's underneath the dirt, but the bottom level is this block here, which then the left side is this, and that turns into the top, which turns into the bottom. So it's just this idea, but taken to a larger scale, and it works quite well as a water wheel, I think. So next up is we need something for the water wheel to power. So we need a building here that will take the power of the water wheel and turn it into saw energy to cut wood. So let's get to work on that in the first time lapse of Alphacraft Season 6. Oh, excuse me. This wasn't here yesterday. Oh, is this Jenner Funky that built this? Or is building it? Is someone here? No, no one's here. Opening soon. Oh, bookshop. Oh, that's good. That's like a wizard's tower. That is a good bookshop design. That's basically just a wizard's tower. That is so good. There's so much cool stuff popping up constantly. And speaking of stuff popping up on this server, here is the, well, I don't want to say finished. I might do a little bit of tweaking just because I'm not a big fan of the roof line at the moment. But this is pretty much the finished design for the lumber mill. The one thing I would like to do is up here adding in some saws. Now, saws require iron. I still cannot use iron. I need to build the smithy first, which will go somewhere over here. But one other thing I want to do with this is kind of have hoppers so I can effectively toss wood into the lumber mill and it'll chop the wood up. So like I'll have one for one crafts and then one for the stair, one for the planks or the slabs. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And I might actually have copper golems and put in some copper chests with a bamboo farm. So it looks like they're constantly sawing wood, even though bamboo is not a normal wood. So it may not work as well. But you know what? I like the idea. It's an interesting idea, and I might do something with that. But in order to do that, I need iron. Now, I'm thinking of putting the smithy around this area because there's a good cave, and actually, I think it's the other side that you can see in. Yeah, right there. There's a really good cave right here. So I'm thinking I'm going to cover up a lot of this and leave enough of a gap so you can tell there's a cave and you can actually get in still. So that'll be like the mine. And then the smithy will be right next to it because it makes sense. You're taking out all of your resources. You go over here, smith them up. So let me get this area cleaned up. And now the land has been terraformed out, and I also flattened out quite a lot. I kind of wish I hadn't done as much, considering copper tools break very fast, but I am happy with the result. We come down in here. There's a zombie. I didn't spawn proof this completely. I put a few lights. I didn't do too much down here. This leads into our cave that extends pretty far down, actually. I haven't gone down it. I need to go down that sometime and light up well using the lights and chains. Before we do that, we're going to need somewhere to smelt down the ores that we get. So right here, I have marked out a spot for where I will be building the smithy for this village. And it's going to be kind of similar to like the sawmill in style. And I did build a smithy like as my last build on season 5, which you would have seen if you had been watching Marky Sparky, which you should be checking out all the alphas. They're all amazing. They all make amazing builds. So go check them all out. But Marky Sparky, I built a smithy in his village last season, like at the very end. I'm not going to use the exact same design. I did take a couple of elements from it, but it is a very different design. So you know what? Let me just stop talking about the design and actually build it. And like that, it is all built, well, almost completely done. There's a couple things. One, this fire is kind of weak. I need to get it going. However, getting it really going requires some iron. So the first thing I have to do is get up some iron to get the fire going so I can really start processing iron around here. These copper chains and lanterns still need to age, and there's a little bit of copper up the top of the chimney. You can barely see it, but that also does need to age as well. But otherwise, it's completely done. So let me go into the mines and let's see how quickly we can find some copper. No, there's copper down there. I mean iron. Let's see how fast we can find some iron. I don't know if I have any gravel either. That is something I'll have to see. I don't think I brought any gravel over. So we might also need to check for some gravel. I do know I have some in my bear bags back at spawn. But I do also need to get some torches going. So let's get like that, some torches, 2 stacks. That's plenty. That'll work. So let's see how quickly we can find a little bit of iron to get the fires lit. We did not find iron. We found a creeper instead. Hello. Oh, okay, good. It dropped it. And oh no. I forgot this bit was all. Well, you know what? It adds to the charm of it. And repaired, I think. You can tell there's some damage here, so I mean, that kind of makes sense. And there's iron right there, but it's between 2 creepers. Oh my gosh. Can I get? Let's break that. Oh, you know what? Their pathfinding doesn't really work on the stalactites. Well, we're destroying the cave. That's really sad and unfortunate. Hey, you know what? I didn't have to mine it. You know what? Why is there another one? Why are there so many of you? Stop. Please stop breaking my cave. Thank you. At least one of them didn't explode. Oh, there's some more iron too. But yeah, 2 pieces of iron, that's all I need right now. I just need enough to get the fires lit, and I didn't see any gravel down there. I'm next to a river, so I should probably find some gravel in there, would be my thinking. All right, I have gotten my piece of flint, gotten some bamboo for fuel, a furnace. So now if I place a furnace here, I should be able to, using the extra heat from this, process the iron properly. And then eventually what I want to do is have these barrels, so there's sneaky barrels down here. I want to hook those up to an actual like super smelter. So this will eventually turn into my super smelter. And we have our first 3 pieces of iron. That first one was very productive. And let's see, can I get to that? Yep. And let's put that back. Make ourselves the flint and steel, which gave me more iron, more flint. That's cool. So from 1 piece of iron, we got 4 extra, which will never happen again. But there we go. The fires are lit. And now we just wait for everything to oxidize. And we can now use iron. I think I had a pretty successful mining trip. I managed to get a decent amount of iron, a ton of copper, because this is a dripstone cave. You get a lot of copper, like a lot of copper. Like this is even fortune. If I had fortune, this would be so much more. And I also got a little bit of lapis and gold. And one thing I was doing while mining was trying to use the copper chains and lanterns. And because there was also so much copper, so I would replenish my supply as I went down. So there's a lot of just copper chains dangling everywhere. And then later on, I added some fences. So I wasn't making these giant chains, as cool as they are, just to kind of save on copper. That was before I got a ton of copper. I am very happy with how this all looks. Like if I go further down, it looks, and yeah, I didn't even get all the copper on the way back up because I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much. And I kind of want to come back through here with fortune, but you can see like, I try to use all the copper lanterns and it looks really neat. So I think that's one thing I'm going to try to do moving forward is when I go mining using either copper or iron chains and lanterns instead of torch spam everywhere. Cause I think it just looks better. If I do like the really low caves, I might go back to torch spam, but for the ones where I can access them from outside. I think I'm going to stick with this just so it looks better if you come down. Now, as for the use of this iron, the normal idea would be to make a suit of iron armor and suit up, but I think it's more useful to have an automatic smelter. So what I generally do is I will make, well, I need more chests and whatnot for wood. Let's see what I have in the wood. We can use acacia, even though I'm going to need a lot of it for building. Well, we can get more. Make some more chests. So I generally do for 12 hoppers. Yeah, 12 hoppers, which is a lot of iron. But it is very useful. So 12 hoppers for 4 furnaces. And then actually I will need 1 more for a minecart. So then a minecart and a rail. And that leaves me with 7 whole iron, which I think is, I can't even make a chest plate out of that. I can make a pair of pants. I think I'm going to keep that for pickaxes and tools because that's not a lot. And I don't, actually, I think I have like a little bit of redstone back at spawn. But right now I won't be able to get the smelted items back up, unfortunately. And then this also assumes that they're all exactly 1 away. And all these are currently operational. Let's make 4 more furnaces. I will wind up making a giant super smelter, so I will use all these furnaces anyways. And actually, I kind of do it right where it's going to go, just so I get used to using this. So first, let's open up the cavern below. All right, I have cleared out a little bit of space, and I'm going to use this barrel as my input. So I'm going to build down 2, and then this is where the furnaces are going to go. We'll do 2 there and 2 back there. Now on top of these furnaces, and I think the chains will actually work. Usually I use iron bars, but I have copper chains, and we'll see if those work. So we'll take the minecart hopper, make a minecart with a hopper, put down our chains, and I may have to go and get iron bars, glass panes, but we'll move that. And this rail solely for this. Actually, I goofed up. These need to be 1 lower? Question mark? I thought I did the math on this. No. I'm just dumb. On top of the furnaces go hoppers, because that's how everything gets inside. Which, yeah, I didn't exactly make this very easy to access. So, fortunately, I should only have to do this the 1 time. So I'm going to do everything correctly. So, chains, then rail, minecart, break the rail, freak out that the minecart's going the wrong direction, break your shovel. I don't have a backup shovel. But let's just do some of this. And yep, the minecart's just not having it, apparently. So now we look into all the furnaces and hope we find the minecart. Which it looks like it landed. That one, let's try that again. So minecart, let's go this way this time. And then there, break, and then line it up in the corner. Usually I do get rid of the iron bars, but I think in this case I can use the chains. So let's see. So this, because I have the minecart mostly in that block, it'll only pull from the 1, and there you go. It works. It's pulling out from the barrel and splitting them evenly because of how quickly it pulls items. And then, yeah, it's already divided everything. I can go there, grab all of this cobblestone, And then on the sides, and this is where, because I want this middle one to be the fuel line. So this is where I'm going to need some more hoppers eventually for this. And then again, this last one's going to be where all the items come up at, which I would need some dispensers and droppers and redstone stuff for. So currently, it's probably not the prettiest thing in the world or the best thing to access. However, because I do have this hooked up, I can pretty easily get over here as well. And eventually I'm going to have a bamboo farm to supply this automatically with fuel now that we have crafters, so I can just craft it all into planks. And then this will be automatically fueled. And so the fuel line would only ever be used if I run out. It needs to add in some emergency fuel. But yeah, we can add in a stack of that. And I don't have enough coal yet, but we can do with what we have, and then this will smelt and come down here, which is excellent. And once I get some more iron, we can actually set this thing fully up properly. But for now, it'll work. It can at least bulk smelt items without me having to manage who knows how many furnaces. I think I have 12 over there. So I can break all those apart and use the fuel in those to fuel the new one. Yeah, I just smelted a bunch of copper, so we're gonna get a lot of copper out of this. Yeah, that's a lot of copper. That is a lot of copper, and like, there we have another stack or so of copper blocks, and I have over a stack of fuel. So if I divide that into 4s, and then I have one left over, so it'll be 21 in each. And again, eventually that will be automated, and then add one and take half of that back. So it's all perfectly even. Oh yeah, we're getting stone out of that, which is awesome. I have gone back into the mines and I got some more iron, so I was actually able to finish this thing up. So if I went down here, I can show you exactly, whoa, that one went further than expected. But so all the hoppers are now, so I had another one of those minecart things. So those go into the furnaces for fuel. And then the output now goes inside of a dropper, which goes up. And this clock works. It's a tad noisy. If I put, we'll put some leads in there. It's silent while it's doing it, but then at the end it'll become noise again, which I know there's a way to make them silent. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. So that's what I ended up with. But it does get everything to the very tippity top. And I've been baking potatoes, bake some more stone. And next episode, I'm going to explain what this is. Just give you a little sneak peek of what's to come. But I hope you all have enjoyed this episode of Alphacraft. We got the blacksmith in and a sawmill, which the sawmill does need a little bit of extra functionality. So I think we'll do that next episode as well. But until then, I will see you all next time.